In nature lies the greatest testament to divine order. Have you ever wondered what makes certain animals like beavers stop all their work every Saturday without fail? Why would an animal so busy, so dedicated to building and creating, suddenly just stop? It's strange, right? We're used to seeing animals driven by instinct, working around the clock for survival. So what's different about these beavers? Maybe you've heard stories of nature's wonders, but today you're about to discover something beyond the ordinary. It's not just about the beavers. It's about something programmed deep within them. A rhythm, a design that not only affects them, but might just reveal a truth bigger than any of us have ever realized. Imagine walking along a bustling creek on a Friday afternoon. The air fills with the sounds of splashing water and the rhythmic chopping of beaver tails against wood. But as the sun sets, something extraordinary happens. The industrious workers, known for their relentless building and gathering, suddenly fall silent. For 16 years, a dedicated team of researchers observed these creatures in their natural habitat, documenting their tireless work patterns. They discovered something remarkable. The beavers' activity dropped every Saturday, almost as if they were following a calendar no human hand had written. This pattern was not just observed once or twice. It was consistent across years, seasons, and even varying environmental conditions. The researchers were meticulous, using tracking devices, cameras, and careful observation techniques to record the behavior of these incredible animals. What they found was not just about the beavers, it was about something much deeper, and here's the promise. Stick with me until the end, and I'll share the real reason why these beavers' behavior may just be programmed into their DNA. Something scientists have found to be linked not just to beavers, but to patterns in bees, chickens, and even our own bodies. You'll see how this hidden code echoes across nature, proving that this isn't just a coincidence, it's a divine signature. The beaver's busy week. Imagine, if you will, a small riverbank tucked away in a quiet corner of the wilderness. The gentle sound of rushing water is pierced by the steady rhythm of gnawing teeth and the slap of tails. Here, beavers go about their tireless work day in and day out, like nature's engineers, crafting their homes with remarkable precision. These creatures, small in stature yet mighty in their labor, embody a relentless spirit of purpose and dedication. The beaver, with its unassuming yet industrious nature, mirrors a truth we all understand deep down. Work is a part of life itself. It's a part of creation, something that God Himself established when He shaped the world in 6 days. Like the beavers, we too were created to work, to be productive, to build, and to nurture. But let's pause and really look at these animals. Look at how intentional their every movement is. Every branch they cut, every dam they construct is part of a larger plan, a design far beyond what we might expect from such simple creatures. But isn't that how God designed work to be? Purposeful, precise, intentional. Now think about the beavers for a moment. All week long, they're constantly moving, cutting down trees, dragging branches, creating intricate systems of dams to protect their homes and manage the water flow around them. It's a relentless pattern, a rhythm of life that doesn't stop. In many ways, their tireless efforts reflect the principle of work that God set before mankind. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. Exodus 29. This was the command spoken long ago, but still echoing through every act of creation, from the beavers in the wilderness to the hands of man in the city. Beavers aren't aimless in their toil. Everything they do has a purpose. They build to survive, to protect, and to ensure the next generation is safe and thriving. And isn't that what work was meant to be for us? A reflection of God's own creative work when He formed the heavens and the earth in those first 6 days. Each day had its task, dividing light from darkness, separating land from sea, filling the skies with stars. Just as the beaver never fells a tree without intention, God never shaped a single element of this world without purpose. We too are called to work in the same spirit of diligence and care. Just as the beaver doesn't question its role in nature, we are meant to embrace the labor before us, knowing that it is part of the divine order. But let me ask you, how often do we lose sight of the purpose in our work? How often do we become so caught up in the day-to-day grind that we forget we are reflecting something much larger? something eternal. In the relentless work of the beavers, we find a lesson in consistency. Day by day, week by week, their efforts shape the landscape. Yet there is something divine in the rhythm of their work, something that reminds us of the broader design we're all a part of. Their labor is unceasing, but it follows a pattern set forth by the one who created them, the same one who created us. But there's something even deeper here. The work of the beaver is relentless, yes, but it is also balanced. They know when to work and they know when to stop. For now, we see the beaver in his busy week, a picture of industriousness that mirrors the Creator's own design. But what happens next? When the work suddenly pauses, when the tools are laid down and creation rests. That's where the mystery deepens and where we'll begin to uncover something even more extraordinary. The strange silence on Saturdays. There is something intriguing about the stillness of a Saturday in the wilderness. If you find yourself by a beaver dam on a typical Friday afternoon, the air is alive with the sounds of hard work. Branches crack, water ripples, and the beavers, nature's tireless builders, are deeply engrossed in their work. But as the sun begins to set, something strange happens. A hush falls over the scene. The busy beavers, so focused and relentless in their tasks, suddenly stop. No chopping, no gnawing, no bustling about. The silence is striking. For 16 years, a group of dedicated researchers observed these creatures, documenting this exact pattern. Every Friday evening, without fail, the beavers would cease all activity and they wouldn't resume their work until Sunday morning. What's even more remarkable is that this wasn't a one-time occurrence or a fluke observed in just one group of beavers. No, this was a consistent behavior seen across regions, years, and even changing seasons. The beavers seemed to know instinctively that it was time to stop, and so the researchers were left baffled. How could these animals, without clocks, without any external reminders, pause their work every seventh day? How did they know? It's almost as if something had been written into their very nature. Something that spoke of a deeper truth, a rhythm that resonates with the order of creation itself. This strange silence on Saturdays isn't just a quirk of nature. It points to a larger pattern, a divine blueprint that we see throughout creation. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Exodus 20:11. Just as God paused after 6 days of creating, declaring his work finished and good, these beavers pause. It's a reflection of the very order that God set at the foundation of the world, a rhythm of work and rest that echoes through time and nature. But here's where it gets even more interesting. This Sabbath rest of the beavers isn't something they struggle with or something that throws them off balance. No, after this period of rest, they pick up their tools, figuratively speaking, and continue their work on Sunday, as if nothing unusual has happened. The pattern of their lives resumes seamlessly, with a renewed sense of purpose. This natural pause, this moment of stillness, doesn't hinder their productivity. In fact, it enhances it. Now, think about this for a moment. If animals, creatures that we often view as governed solely by instinct and survival, can enter into this divine rhythm of rest, what does that say about us? What does that say about the Sabbath as a gift, not just for humanity, but for all of creation? But here's what makes this truly mind-bending. These beavers don't have smartphones. They don't wear watches. They definitely don't have calendars hanging in their lodges. Yet with clockwork precision, they cease their work at the same time every week, from Friday sunset to Saturday sunset. And just as mysteriously, come Sunday morning, they're back at it again, as if following some invisible schedule programmed into their very being. Perhaps in their silence, the beavers are reflecting something that we often overlook: the beauty of a day set apart. A day to stop, to breathe, to acknowledge that work is good, but it is not everything. Just as God rested and enjoyed his creation, the beavers pause in a similar way, as if nature itself is honoring the Creator. So what do we make of this? How do we, who have calendars and clocks and constant reminders of the days passing by, often fail to enter into this rhythm, that the beavers seem to embrace so effortlessly. Maybe, in the beaver's quiet, we are invited to reflect on the rest that has been offered to us as well. The Sabbath was made for man, a day to cease from striving, to recognize that our work, no matter how important, is never complete without rest. There is a mystery in this Sabbath silence, and it calls us to pause, to listen and to find rest, not just physically, but spiritually. Just as the beavers pause, perhaps we are being invited into that same divine rhythm of rest, a rhythm that stretches back to the very beginning of time. Why Saturday? Why is this day among all the others set apart? For many, it may seem like just another day of the week, blending seamlessly into the rhythm of life. But when we dive deeper into the biblical narrative, we begin to see something extraordinary, something profound. The seventh day, Saturday, is not just a day of rest for humans. It is a day marked by the Creator Himself. Let's go back to the beginning, to those 6 days of creation. In Genesis 2 and 3, we read that after 6 days of forming the heavens, the earth, and everything in them, God did something remarkable. He rested, not because He was tired, but because He was finished. And in that moment, He sanctified the seventh day, blessing it and setting it apart as holy. He could have chosen any day, but He chose the seventh. Why? Because this day wasn't just a pause in activity. It was a declaration that creation was complete, good, and in harmony with His will.